Is it weird that our only two fans are the chief sustainability officer? Oh, keep going.
You're just going to talk over your own intro.
Oh! I missed the countdown. Yeah!
Watch the countdown. It's good to be back. You're back.
I was gone for one show, live from the committee to beat up BlackRock and ISS until they run home crying to mommy. That's
a
the
committee
hearing they have now? That's a weird one.
I didn't see that on the docket.
Even
that's
for the Republicans, that's a bit odd.
That's really on the nose.
It's the podcast that puts the extra silly gas into ESG. I mean, somebody had to. Featuring a-hole maestro Matt Moscardi and me.
Ooh, I'm a maestro. I'll take the a-hole as long as I'm a maestro.
I don't want anyone to think that I'm being crass. It's analyst hole. Hole like the orifice out of which one speaks. I'm not being vulgar.
Although, when you say orifice, it does sound a little vulgar bad. Also.
And today's ESG-approved woke data energy drink called August 2nd, 2023. Probably not funny biz nuggets. Hey-o.
That's right. Yeah. Way to sell it
hard. Nobody's in a funny mood in America. Yeah. Our show today, Matt. I want to get serious for a second. Our show today
I'm listening.
Is being sponsored by S-Gage, your ESG data solutions provider.
S-Gage. I don't know how many people, after listening to this show, have gone to S-Gage and bought S-Gage data because of us. But that number should be high because their data is actually very good. We use the data.
Yeah, we do. On our platform, freeflowanalytics.com. Paul will be stopping by later to talk about Director Perquisites. Perks. Director Perks.
Prerequisites.
All other compensation. That's all other.
All right, let's. While we wait for Paul to get here. Can you believe
he's driving all the way down here just to talk about that?
Yeah, for 7 whole minutes.
All the way to Hartford he's going today. That's like a four and a half hour drive. Yeah.
It's a long trip for 7 minutes, but it's worth it. But let's get into our nuggets.
Come on.
While we have energy for nuggets. Here we go.
I should have loosened up my mouth more. Mine are very long-winded. I'm warning you.
You need to stretch.
In our Hey Ma, my populist math 101 professor told me that since Uber CEO Dara made 316 times Uber's median employee last year, that $52 for a 2.9-mile Uber ride is like 16 cents for the CEO.
It's not that
Tell
much.
Dad. Oh, hey, Ma, one more question. Would the equivalent be a $52 one-way flight from D.C. to Tampa? Because, 316 times 3 miles is about 900 miles, in which case maybe this is a good idea. I'm confused, and I'm probably going to fail Populist Math 101. Don't tell Dad.
Well, I really trailed off at the end there.
Uber CEO balks after a reporter tells him the cost of his 2.9-mile Uber ride. He said, "Oh my God, wow."
Yeah, that's good when you know how much you charge people.
So this is the CEO was told by a reporter in Manhattan that his 2.9-mile Uber ride cost him $52. The CEO, Dara, had guessed it was about $20. So that's how off
You know how
he
many
is.
times he can take that ride himself? Mm-hmm. Last year's take-home, his salary was
24 million?
24 million, 24.3, I think. I think he could take it like 410,000 times. He could just go back, up and down the west
sounds
side.
like a punishment. Yeah. In our... Oh, mine are really just super long.
Wow, this is long today.
In our, according to a company spokesperson, Disney's Compensation Committee Chair, Donald Duck.
Really, Donald?
Whose father, Quackmore Duck, served for over 15 years as Disney's Audit Committee Chair, who was appointed to the position despite the fact that Donald's mother, Hortense McDuck, had an MBA from Wharton and a PhD in economics from UPenn. Headline of the week.
There's a lot to absorb.
Ron DeSantis' Disney World Special District drops DEI programs.
Oh. They had one?
One of the well, okay. Unfortunately, I got very deep into this morning, but the what's it called? The Reedy Creek Improvement
That's what it used to be
District,
called.
formerly controlled by Disney, now controlled by Ron DeSantis, where he appointed all of his cronies, a bunch of Republicans, to run the board. One of the first acts, Matt, was to strike the racist, hateful DEI programs there.
Finally,
Yes,
someone's doing it. They're standing up for something.
What are they standing up for? I don't even know.
I mean, the only thing the claim could be is that it's racist against white people. That's the only.
Why don't you say that out loud?
Unspoken claim, right?
I like
they
that.
should just say
that. I think that's fun.
Say that. That's what they're saying without saying it.
Oh boy.
Oh my God, this one's like 6 pages long.
Here you go. Number 1, passengers who swear a lot. Number 2, passengers who talk about his 316-to-1 CEO pay ratio.
Got it.
Number 3, passengers that don't tip despite impeccable service.
Wow. Okay.
Number 4, passengers who discuss the fact that he was the only executive officer to receive an options award despite being the CEO when the stock price was deflated, meaning that he is being rewarded for creating his own failure.
That's a good one. I like
Number
that one.
5, passengers that reek like alcohol.
Oh, well, nobody
Number
likes that.
6, passengers who discuss how, according to Free Flow Analytics, he is batting .277 overall, including a woefully low earnings batting average of .089.
Get out.
And finally, number 7, passengers who talk on their cell phones the entire time about the fact that all of Uber's board leadership positions are held by white men who were former CEOs at S&P 500 companies. Headline of the week. That's the stupidest one ever.
I need an Advil.
Uber CEO reveals the passenger behaviors that irked him when he became an undercover boss.
There's a lot of Uber for you today, huh?
Yeah.
This is just, it's not
I
feeling
love
good
Uber.
about it.
I love Uber CEO.
They just got profitable this year.
Stupidest company ever, yeah.
And,
I mean,
and
Matt,
maybe,
all you had to do is put up your hand, and a cab would pull over for you. It would just pull over to the side of the road.
Yeah, but now it costs you $50 to go 3 miles, and that's why they're profitable.
Now you have to get out your sweaty phone. You have to do a lot of swiping. There's like surcharges and tips
timing,
and all this nonsense.
and then they don't show up, and then it's great.
All you need to do is just put up your hand. That's it. All right. I think that's my longest one. They get shorter from now on.
Thank God.
In our AI Abe Lincoln bot reportedly received a golden hello package of 500,000 shares with .01863 votes per share. Headline of the week. Meta is reportedly bringing AI chatbots to Facebook, including an Abe Lincoln bot.
Ooh, an Abe Lincoln bot.
I don't understand any of that. What is this?
Okay, so
What's
I
happening
did
to our
spend.
culture? Yeah.
I did spend, and I call this research, but it was really hard not to do this. Almost an hour this morning. If you go to Twitch, there is now AI Jesus on Twitch.
This is a company
And
owned
I
by
spent
Jeff
an hour.
Bezos.
It will take questions out of the Twitch chat and answer them using it was trained on scripture, I guess. But the questions people were asking were things like, how do I cook ramen noodles? And I mean, it was like a variety of inappropriate things, obviously.
Sure.
And then things like, how do I beat the original Nintendo game Doug? And Jesus was answering.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Has our culture finally become like a big, giant Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, where we're just like, we have like animatronic historical figures, and no one knows what's real anymore. Nobody cares.
It's like Wall-E mixed with Jurassic Park.
Okay, great. And finally, in my first section, a spokesperson for Vivek Ramaswamy and Strive Asset Management said they did not know which was worse: fighting a fake war based on fake ESG communist data, or the alarming potential that the umbrella might be rainbow-colored. Headline of the week.
The second one. Definitely the second.
Giant umbrella tied to asteroid can help fight climate change.
What does that even mean? What did you say?
So scientists are actually studying a scenario where they tie a giant umbrella to an asteroid in order to block certain, of the sun's light to reduce the effects of. Yeah,
when we're at the point
Yeah.
that we're tying umbrellas to asteroids
Yeah.
to block the sun.
Maybe just
I think we've hit dystopia.
Well, instead of
dystopia.
changing our behavior, changing corporate behavior, all that, let's just tie rainbow-colored umbrellas to celestial objects. Why not?
Why didn't the asteroid have it in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good
It's the
question.
question we should be asking
Take over
ourselves.
for a while.
All right, in our following ESG firm Sustainalytics announcement of a cow risk rating,
Yeah.
anti-woke firm Second Vote announced an all-bovine food index. It says will, quote, cure the woke masses of their Hindu obsessions with cows. Headline of the week, upset Hindus seek apology from Baskin-Robbins for non-disclosure.
Wait, what?
A Hindu society
Beefy cones?
is looking for Baskin-Robbins to apologize for not putting on its carton of Rocky Road that they use beef gelatin as one of the ingredients.
Well, that's quite a rocky road right there. It's a lot of hoof tracks.
I mean, they said, the spokesman said, we use, quote, gelatin of porcine and beef source.
Okay.
That was the quote.
Hey, I guess
Why did they say bovine source?
I don't know.
I love the word porcine. I'm just,
Yeah, I know you do. You always
it's
have.
like the word of the week. In fairness,
Yeah.
she did ask for a, quote, professional headshot. So in Florida, this would count. Headline of the week.
Mm-hmm.
An Asian MIT student asked AI to turn an image of her into a professional headshot. It made her white with lighter skin and blue eyes.
Yeah, I saw this, Matt. Maybe they were just using our data because if you are essentially a CEO in the Fortune 500,
Yes.
you are a white dude with blue eyes. Really, I mean that's what you are.
Upon seeing this, your initial reaction was, on our platform, we need to do a button that
Yes.
says, turn me into a board chair.
Yes.
And I think it should be the same picture of an old white man every single time.
Miles
Like,
White.
turn me into turn me into a board chair. You click it, and it's Miles White's picture every
I vote for
time.
Miles White, former Abbott CEO.
And current Ari Baby.
Yes.
Miles Abbott Satterwhite. This time, we'll use the entire Super Nintendo for parts, not just the controller. Headline of the week.
Uh-oh.
The co-founder of OceanGate, the firm whose CEO died on a deep-sea dive for the Titanic, now wants to send 1,000 people to Venus.
To Venus? Wait, this happened after that accident?
Yes, this is new.
Oh my God! What, so the company is not even defunct?
The company is not defunct. Not only is the company not defunct, the other founder
The other guy.
has said that exploration in all its forms, we need to celebrate it.
Venus.
We're going to Venus. And did not mention that Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system.
Yeah, but they have a lot of asteroid covered in umbrellas. Or
Also did not mention the fact that they could not go underneath our ocean without the thing exploding.
Oh, that's complicated though. Very
and
wet.
In case you didn't get the reference, the submersible that exploded on the way to the Titanic was using a Logitech video game controller.
Yeah.
That's just gotta explain the joke on that one.
Really, you could probably have an extra 20 hours of show if you had to explain all of our dumb jokes.
I know. Okay. So it looks like we've added the intestinal distress. I see you've chosen seasickness and toe fungus, along with an extra bag and in a bathroom that will be available to you during your stay.
Mm-hmm.
For those extras, we'll be adding $347. Thank you. Headline of the week.
Yeah.
Cruises are increasingly adopting the strategy of budget airlines. Get ready to pay more for all the extras.
Oh.
What are the cruise extras?
Yeah, you're
Like-
probably right. Like barf bags, maybe salt and pepper.
I mean, On an airplane, you're bringing so the cruise is charging you what for extra bags?
Yeah,
you want to bring a
for
whole
extra
bunch of bags?
carrot sticks. I don't know.
But the only other things they give you are norovirus.
Okay,
and
but
COVID.
that should be extra, right?
That should be. You should have to pay for that.
Because it makes for a great story.
All right, now you do your 35 pages.
In our Watson was fined $5 million after receiving $230 million in guaranteed pay. Last week, owner Dan Snyder sold his team for $6.2 billion and was fined $60 million after, among other things, sexually harassing team employees. So what's the joke here? Let me think. That the NFL cares more about women today? Is that even funny?
You're
I don't
right.
know.
This
Is
isn't
this a
funny.
joke?
This isn't funny. I'm not
Headline
sure
of the
this
week.
is a joke.
NFL expands sexual assault policy penalties in wake of Deshaun Watson's suspension.
No, it's funny.
Yeah.
The Dan
What's
Snyder
funny
one,
is the NFL. The NFL is funny.
Dan Snyder wasn't for sexual harassment. It was for basically hiding money from the other NFL owners. Mm-hmm. And Dan Snyder has said he does not want it referred to as a fine. He wants it referred to as a reimbursement.
Well, I'm going to refer to it as a fine. Unless he wants
How
to
dare
call
you.
in. If he wants to come on the show, actually, I will agree to drop that language. I will call it something else if he comes on the show.
Sounds like a deal.
In his expertise includes 1, the ability to hit a small ball really far.
That's
2,
something.
an infamous infidelity scandal. 3, an infamous arrest for driving under the influence. 4, handing his competitor a tampon on national TV after hitting a small ball further than him. And 5, getting drunk and breaking into the house of an unknown woman and sleeping in her bed. Oh, wait, that last one was Tyson Foods CFO John R. Tyson. Sorry. Headline of the week. Tiger Woods joins PGA Tour board as Saudi deal talks continue. New director on the PGA Tour board, Tiger Woods.
Wow. Well, I'm in the middle of a research paper in which I found, doing the academic research, that basically there's nothing a director can do to either hurt their reputation or get below 90% votes. There's no thing that they do. That's a true thing.
And or to get fired as CFO at Tyson Foods.
Well, I mean, that one's a layup.
If you're a 4th generation Tyson. In our Just Like Yum brand's female power board gap of 9%, you ain't getting what you think you're getting at Taco Bell. Hey-oh, headline of the week. This is my first stupid female power gap sponsored by Free Flow Analytics joke. Taco Bell sued for false advertising of amount of filling in crunch wraps and Mexican pizzas. Matt, here's the bigger point. Can we start suing companies for pretending like they have a lot of women in these board positions, but they're not actually giving them any influence over board proceedings? Can we start one by one?
I love that idea. It's a brilliant idea. We absolutely should.
Let's go sue crazy.
Let's just create the list and sue them all.
Yeah. In our ESG, now it's 84%, headline of the week. ESG mentions down 85% in company filings across tech industry.
I mean, that they talked about it at all was the joke before. So
I'm just really, honestly, what I'm really mostly surprised at is that there are actually corporations who listen to the bullshit that Vimic and Ron DeSantis spew, and they actually change their...
I don't know. They're worried about... Now everybody's worried about a lawsuit. I just got a memo that hit my desk that talks about... Yeah, they're worried that by everyone talking about the same thing, they've created a collusion lawsuit waiting to happen.
It's just data. It's just extra disclosure. I don't know what we're even talking about.
I don't know. They should just stop mentioning data in their company filings also.
Like nothing. Don't even tell you when the annual meeting is.
I think it should just be a picture of a goat for every filing.
One of the first data points I remember that we collected at the corporate library, among other things, was when the annual meeting date is and where. That sounds like communist data, right? What is that?
Woke. That's you're a socialist.
Because why are they telling the shareholders where to show up, right? That could lead to really abhorrent, communist-driven shareholder proposals, right?
They might all talk to one another. That's collusive.
Yes.
What if they eat bagels? That's Jewish, and
I hate to
don't know.
break it to most conspiracy theorists in the ESG world, but that's what most of the boring ESG data looks like.
It really does. It's not that interesting.
Age. It's how many shares were you granted last year? All right. Finally, in our this is the greatest Glass Cliff CEO statement ever. CEO Stephanie Tully took over less than a year ago. Okay, that's the background for this one. Okay.
Okay.
That's this. This might be the greatest Glass Cliff CEO statement ever. Here's the headline: Jetstar CEO Stephanie Tully apologizes to everyone we've let down over our 20-year history as she issues plea to all Aussies. Okay. Matt, this woman took over less than a year ago. She's apologizing for the company's 20-year history.
It's a full history. Yeah, everything they've ever done.
This is the greatest Glasscliff CEO moment ever.
Really, why stop there?
Yeah.
Why not apologize for more than just your company's history?
Yeah.
Just apologize for every company's history.
How about taking over that job?
Years.
The first thing we want you to do is to apologize to everyone ever for everything.
What a good starting point. All right, I'm going to wrap us up before we get to Paul anyway.
Yeah,
Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet, recently said, quote, "Wind-powered emissions-free cargo technology is one of the most important things humanity is working on. It's more profound than electricity or fire."
Whoa.
Or, wait, did he say that about AI? Headline of the week: the return of cargo-carrying sail ships.
Wait.
What? All right, stay with me.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's a company, and I covered this on Monday, but I love it so much. There's a company in the Netherlands that their solution for climate change and transportation is sailboats. They want to start shipping everything from container ships back to sailboats.
And this is not just down like a 500-foot canal in Amsterdam, right? This is like
no. They want to do this in open ocean. They want to do this from China to everywhere.
Why? But why not? Tell me why this is a bad idea.
Well, they spent some time talking about how a container ship takes like 30 days, and to do it on a sailboat is like 90 days. It's like three times as long, and they can only carry like 1/10 as much.
Okay, so reuse the cat litter. Who cares?
I'm just saying what they said. But my favorite part of the article is they framed it as they're using the latest in modern technology. And by that, they meant sails. They meant sails. They're using sails. It's sailboats.
Yeah.
I just wish Sundar Pichai would talk about sailboats the way he talks about AI. More profound.
I've seen some of these giant container ships. I live in a port city with giant container ships that come in. How big is this sail, Matt? Is it the size of like Wyoming? I don't understand.
No, it's not.
Have you seen these container ships?
Yeah, I know. The container ships are like...
They're ridiculous.
They're absurd.
They're the size of a skyscraper loaded down by like 8 billion pounds of kitty litter.
I'm telling you, that's part of the joke. All right. In our... Yeah, but... the 19% were fine, right?
Uh-oh.
Headline of the week: study, climate change boosted July's heat for 81% of the world's population.
You know, what's even worse than this, I tagged an article today about how the top 10 cities to which Americans are migrating to, and the top 2 cities are Phoenix and Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know.
Phoenix just had 31 straight days of 110 degree plus weather.
And
that's
no water.
Where people are moving.
That's where they're moving. There's no water and 110 degree heat every day.
But we can create zoning laws for everything. Why are we letting people move to Phoenix, Arizona? Why are we? I don't
let them move. I mean, anybody who's moving to Phoenix right now, it's just like they're going to have no water. They're going to have to move out again. It's going to be terrible.
And they're going to blame ESG when the insurance companies won't insure them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I want to know where the 19% were. 81% of the world's population had climate change
Alaska?
boosted July's heat. No, Alaska had like record-breaking
Oh, is
heat.
that
There
right?
was record-breaking heat in the Arctic and Greenland. There were breaking
Yeah, where
heat,
were they?
like,
Maybe they
where
were
are
traveling on airplanes and they missed the
I
pole
think it
or
was
something?
like in the 19%. It was like, I think it's maybe Iceland is the only
Okay,
place.
all right.
And our you ESG snowflakes want like everything to work. Next, you'll be asking about wheels and motors and doors. Headline of the week: steering failures are Tesla's new federal safety worry.
And I remind you that despite the uproar, that is part of what ESG scores account for, right? If there are major product recalls that threaten your stakeholders, including your customers, who I will say, one of the co-founders of Strive Asset Management was on LinkedIn, Anson Freaks, what's his name? Anson.
I don't know what is that.
he was talking all about customers, right? All about how they love customers.
It's the customers, yeah.
Anson, this is part of what ESG scores account for. They
That's all it is.
They collect data on things like massive product recalls that kill your customers. See how it works?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
just saying,
explain
just
it
saying.
again.
I don't want to.
Go
I'm
backwards. Finally, for our woke nuggets today,
tired.
before we get to
Ooh,
Paul.
I love this finally. I'm tired.
In our what?
Ooh.
Wait. They know that woke is a euphemism for gay and black and hippie and communist and woman and intellectual and liberal and northerner and Brit and gypsy and Visigoth and Satan and COVID and China, right?
Whoa.
Headline of the week: Ron DeSantis' newest problem: the majority of likely Republican primary voters don't want a candidate devoted to fighting woke.
What a big shock. I mean, they're not interested in the fact that a couple of stoned hippies that created, of all things, an ice cream company care about stoned hippie causes. They don't want to get mad with Ron with that one.
Also, I think what they don't want fighting woke because the list of things that might be woke is
Literally everything.
really all the things. It's everything.
Well, it's everything they like.
I mean, you can't do a thing
No, you
anymore
can't.
without it being
can't.
called woke anymore.
Yeah, you might as well stay
So
at home and shut your electricity off. Yeah,
that's it for our woke nuggets.
that's
but we're
enough.
Not,
It's
we're
more
not.
than
Yeah,
enough.
that was enough.
We
I'm
promise
tired.
next time to edit ourselves better.
Do we? Do we promise?
failed our one listener. Yeah, we did.
Do we promise that? Well, let's. All right, Paul's here. He
Paul's
finally
here,
got
finally.
here. He's
Yeah.
walking in. We're gonna listen to Paul. Here is Paul Hodgson of S Gauge talking about directors and perky things.
Perks.
Hello, this is Paul Hodgson with S-Gauge Statistics of the Week. So as promised, last week we are looking a little bit more closely into the issue of other compensation for directors. Other compensation is that catch-all term that covers a variety of payments to directors that aren't covered under the normal issues of cash fees, stock awards, stock option awards, etc., etc. So I asked my friends in New Delhi at S-Gauge, the team, to get back to me about some of the highest or all of the compensation levels that have been paid out to directors in the 2022 fiscal year. And I'd just like to give out a big thank you to the team there: Deepak Dagar, Mohit Sharma, Sonia Goyal, Satinder Singh, Deepak Agarwal, and Akanksha Upadhyay. And apologies for mangling most of those names. But anyway, thank you all for your support in putting together S-Gauge Statistic of the Week. You can give me a pronunciation lesson later on. So they came up with the top 20 highest fees, all of the compensation for directors. And the largest amount was $500,000, and the bottom 20 was $30,000. Now, the vast majority of these were matching gifts. Now, matching gifts are corporate payments that match a director's contributions to a charity of their choice. These were really all over the place in terms of value, all the way from $100,000 matching gifts at EOG Resources down to a $5,000 matching gift at Delta Airlines. So Delta Airlines wouldn't normally have been in here with a $5,000 matching gift, since the lowest total, all of the compensation for individual director in the table was $30,000. But there were a number of other things that went on, at Delta Airlines that, how shall we say it, got it into this hall of shame. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a hall of shame at all. Matching gifts could hardly be described as halls of shame. But anyway, the other amounts that got Delta into this table were the amount of $25,000 for a tax equalization payment and $20,000 for discounts on company products and services. Now, I'll read you what it says in the proxy statement. Delta reimburses the director for associated taxes on complimentary travel with an imputed tax value of up to $25,000 per year. As is common in the airline industry, Delta provides complimentary travel and certain Delta Sky Club privileges for members of the board of directors, the director's spouse, domestic partner, or designated companion, director's children, and parents, and to a limited extent other persons designated by the director. These are collectively known as the director flight benefits. And they indicate that the complimentary travel for such other persons is limited to an aggregate imputed value of $20,000 per year, which is quite a lot of flights if you think about it. Similarly, well, not really, actually. I was looking at Southwest Airlines, which is also in the table, to see if they also received complimentary travel benefits, but apparently not, or at least they're not being reported. Anyway, so what we're looking at here is for directors, one director received retirement plan payments of $75,000. Now, retirement plan payments for directors are virtually unknown. They were very, very common, say, 20 years ago. But have been removed from the kind of director benefit pay package slowly and steadily over the past, over the 5 years since 2000 and are almost unknown now. So it's pretty unusual. This is probably a legacy plan. It's $35,000 for directors who serve for a period of at least 5 years and $75,000 for directors who serve for a period of at least 10 years. So any director that served for 10 or more years would not be considered independent, in my opinion, and also the opinion of most corporate governance codes. Paying them a pension would also reduce their independence as well. So this is not a particularly wonderful approach to paying directors. So those are not spectacularly large amounts. The two highest amounts was another tax equalization payment at Aon of $150,000, and then a consulting fee of $350,000 for a director, Kenneth Burdick, at Centene Corporation. Now, let me just go to the proxy statement to have a look at exactly what that entailed. So, effective at the end of January in 21, the company entered into a consulting agreement with Kenneth Burdick, who was their former EVP Markets and Products and former CEO of WellCare. Centene is a healthcare company. So he was paid for this $350,000 per quarter in cash. So since the amount entered was $350,000, it looks like he only worked for a single quarter. Now, the agreement's expired now, but one wonders why he was made a director in the first place, since he clearly has ties to the company and is not considered independent under, never mind my opinion, but any corporate governance code. And then Mr. Burdick became chairman and CEO of LifeStance Health Group in September 22, a company which has contracts with Centene for services provided. Now, they say that the contracts were obtained on arm's length dealings prior to the time that Mr. Burdick became affiliated with LifeStance, but since they're already in existence, again, we have another link between this so-called independent director and the company. I'm not sure how great the score would be for this guy in your sabermetrics product, Matt and Damien, but my guess is probably not great. So that's that one. The other large amount is for Richard Shattuck, I think is his name. Just let me check on that one more time. I don't want to misspeak. Mayo Shattuck, I'm sorry, who was the former CEO of Exelon Corporation. And again, I went to the proxy statement to try and figure out where that amount came from. It was $500,000. And it is, in fact, a charitable contribution. Now, it's not a matching grant program because this is not an amount that the director has actually made for themselves. It's just a charitable contribution made by the company on the former CEO's behalf. And if I could spell charitable, I'd be able to track down the actual amount in the proxy statement. So here we have, for Mr. Shattuck, who departed the board in 2022, as I say, was a former CEO. The amount shown reflects a one-time contribution of $500,000 made by Exelon to charitable contributions in honor of his years of service to Exelon. Now, he was the I recognize his name, so he must have been CEO there for some considerable time. So it doesn't really surprise me that they've made this contribution. But again, it's hard to get churlish about charitable contributions, but is that the best use of shareholders' funds? So this is Paul Hodgson signing off with S-Gage Statistic of the Week.
That was Paul.
Yeah, I had to mute my mic because I was giggling a bit there.
Were you giggling? Giggling
Paul
might be
makes
the
me
wrong
giggle.
word.
Yeah.
I was learning.
You were learning. I was giggling.
Yeah.
I giggle when I learn.
That's all we got for today. That was a weird Woke Wednesday for us.
They're always weird. I think every show officially we do is weird, to be honest.
Hey, look, we're looking for people to interview. If you're a
Yes.
listener to this show and you're like, the only rule of an interview on this show is that there's no talking points. I do not want to
Can't
hear
be
about
boring.
your fucking
Can't bore
stupid,
me. Can't bore
like,
me.
like the things that your marketing division wrote for you. I don't want to hear that shit. You come on the show, we have a real conversation about real stuff. And we'd love to interview you.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
and before you say things like who would come on that show with these idiots, we just had the great representative from Illinois, Sean Casten, on.
Sean Casten.
So what are you talking
we launched
about? What are you
the
talking
political
about?
career of
Don't say it.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Don't say it.
We have had greats from Calvert and Morgan Stanley, from MSCI,
MSCI.
we've had really real people talk to us on the show. So come join us. Otherwise, thanks to our sponsors, S-Gage and freefloatanalytics.com, where you can go get director data for every director in the entire world. So I don't have the data as an excuse for not voting your proxies, whether you're my mom or BlackRock. You've got the data now. It's there. Go get it. We'll be back on Friday to wrap the week, and we'll be back with the Money Whisperer, too. Until then, goodbye.